Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and this is the all-new 2024 GMC Acadia in the off-road AT4 trim. And in this video, I just have a little bit of time with this, but I'm going to try and help answer the question, is this better than a Toyota Grand Highlander? Stay tuned. As we set off in this 2024 Acadia, I do want to say a huge thank you to my friends over at Hall Buick GMC here in Tyler, Texas, for allowing me my first seat time. I got to explore one at the Detroit Auto Show under fluorescent lights, but this is really my first time seeing one in the daylight, much less getting to put one into motion. So I am incredibly grateful. If you want to make one yours, go see my friends at hallhasitall.com. Tell them Corey from GT Garage Talk sent you. But setting off in this one, let's talk about what actually motivates this one, because that is a new powertrain for the 2024 model year. As we look underneath the hood of this new GMC Acadia, General Motors has done a big switcheroo with this platform. The Acadia has gotten bigger over the years, and we don't have a 2-liter Turbo 4 under the hood. We have a 2.5-liter Turbo 4 under the hood, making more power, but also giving up a little in fuel economy. This 2.5 Turbo 4 makes 328 horsepower and 326 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic versus the outgoing 9-speed. And in our AT4, we do get driver-selectable all-wheel drive. So yes, we've got a 2.5-liter Turbo 4 making tons of horsepower and torque with a new transmission. And you can see the transmission has been moved to this little gear lever right here, freeing up some space up here. So I really like the new powertrain in this. We'll talk about how it drives here momentarily, but I did want to talk about how the styling of this goes back to that vehicle I mentioned in the intro, in that Toyota Grand Highlander. Talking about styling with the new Acadia, this is actually the first time I've ever seen one out in the daylight, ever. I was in Detroit when they unveiled this and got to see it under the lights there. I saw it in Chicago, I've seen it in New York, but this is the first time to actually see it in the daylight. And while I was critical, especially in Detroit when I did my walkarounds, of how seemingly bland the styling looked, that really leads into the question I asked at the beginning of this: is it better than Grand Highlander? Because as we pull around here to the side, it really looks a lot like the Grand Highlander. Like, I mean, a lot like the Grand Highlander, but we'll work our way back there in just a moment. Up front, we get the corporate GMC style that has been updated over the years and does look rather nice and aggressive with those wide C-channel lamps, LED running lights, turn signals, all the things that are, yes, only accessible through the screen. We'll talk about that shortly. But we get the updated style that I think really works out front here. This being the AT4, or the all-terrain 4-wheel drive, we get the requisite red tow hooks up front, just to give it a rough and tumble exterior look to it, and then blacked out everything, which on this black model does look really good. But in this 90+ degree Texas summer day, I'm burning up out here, guys. I will say, as we come around to the side here, this is where it absolutely one-ups the Grand Highlander, because Grand Highlander has no off-road trim whatsoever. They are not leaning into the off-road craze over at Toyota with their big 3-row people mover, even if they did kind of with their Sienna minivan. But here on the GMC Acadia AT4, we get Goodyear Wrangler Territory all-terrain tires. Quite impressive. They are 265/65 R18s wrapped around these rather aggressive 18-inch looking wheels. I would say the profile of the wheel tire combo on this is absolutely a great look. It really does accentuate the sporty ruggedness of this that the AT4 badge is meant to invoke. You can see we also get an AT4 badge there on the side. I really will say the wheel tire combo on this is spot on. I think it looks spectacular and really does lean into that all-wheel drive, that rugged appearance that everybody wants, though not everyone really needs. This is going to be more than capable for most. I do like these side marker lamps on top of both the front and rear wheel arches, which is a really nice touch. And then we do get a big greenhouse on this one that is a little hard to see because yes, we are black on black. We do have a third row of seats with more room than the outgoing model. We'll talk about that when we get inside. And as we come around to the back, we get the C-channel taillights, LED lights back here in the back, quad exhausts down low. You get this chrome Acadia all-wheel drive badge and the AT4 badge here on the other side. It is a power opening lift gate. Go ahead and hit the button under the C, and we will get a very nice accommodating cargo compartment with lots of space in here. And my backpack's back here. Can you tell? No, you can't, because it's hidden under the floor here. I am just impressed with how much underfloor storage. This is minivan-like storage capability back here in a 3-row SUV. I like it a lot. You can see the spare tire does reside underneath here. You have to remove these plastic pins to get to it. And then we have a 60/40 split bench, 3rd row seat. We do have top tethers all the way across, but very easy to fold down and fold back up. I actually prefer the non-power seats because it is just so much quicker to fold them down and pick them back up. Me at 5'10", this is how I fit underneath the power lift gate, and we do have a button right there to bring it to a close. So yes, this definitely has more bland styling than perhaps I would have wanted or preferred, but definitely getting it out in the daylight, actually getting to see this AT4 model and getting to see just how meaty the tires are on this one. I really do appreciate what GMC is doing with the style of this vehicle, and I think this AT4 may be their best seller. When they unveiled this, they did say something like 75% of their vehicles wear either an AT4 or a Denali badge, and I can absolutely see how that is true when it comes to the off-road craze. Everybody wants a rugged off-road looking vehicle, and the wheel tire combo on this absolutely home run, knocks it out of the park. When it comes to the interior of this, the interior has been massively upgraded over the outgoing model, and well, let me just show you around. Before I climb in this one, I do want to show you the key. Typical GMC key, their modern key. We have lock, unlock, your trunk release, remote start, panic button, and you can deploy a physical key from here. I really like just how easy remote start is on General Motors vehicles. You just double tap that and it starts. No holding any buttons like you have to on Grand Highlander or anything like that. It just starts. Now, we don't get a passive entry, but you do get on all 4 doors here an easy keyless entry on this vehicle. You can lock and unlock it from that button right there on all 4 doors, which I really like on a family vehicle because you're going to want to remote start this and then get into the back seat to load a child seat. We'll talk more about the back seat here in a moment. The front seat will start on the door panel. I really like this kind of green accenting material here. We've got padded armrest here, and then that kind of Evotex textured material that we saw in the Hummer EV. I like the mixed use of stitching. Express up-down driver window, but not all 4. No power or no memory seats on this one, but we do have power seats here with 4-way lumbar, so I like that a lot. I really do like these seats. They're comfortable, they're mixed use. So we've got a little bit of cloth right here. We've got all this different stitching, and these are heated and ventilated, which I really like. We've got AT4 embossed, embroidered there on the headrest. And before I climb in, I do want to show you, we have a nice open tunnel for storing a purse, a bag, or whatever you might need down there. So I really like that. I'm gonna go ahead and climb in because my goodness, it is getting warm by the minute outside. And then we get this GMC animation here on this screen. I do believe it should also appear here, but yes, we are in demo mode. because I am borrowing this from my friends at Hall Buick GMC here in Tyler, Texas. You can see we get a fully digital gauge screen right here, fully digital large portrait style screen here. This kind of goes against what General Motors said they were going to do. They said they really wanted to emphasize width in their vehicles, so they were going all wide. But then GMC specifically started doing these tablet style displays, which this very much reminds me of the Ford Mustang Mach-E or the F-150 Lightning, because it is very similar down to the single knob on the screen itself right here in the bottom middle. But this controls everything in the vehicle, and I mean everything down to the headlights. So you've got all these quick access buttons here. But what's very interesting to me is we have digital poverty buttons here, showing you that we do not have all the options on our AT4 that we could if we got the top trim Denali, so to speak. But you get a lot of stuff built into this. This has got Google built-in technology in it. You can see we've got the assistant right there, but this also does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That is only being removed from the electric vehicles that General Motors produces, not their gas-powered vehicles. So you still get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is good because we've got a Qi wireless charger right here. And when it comes to cameras, there are plenty of cameras on here. You can see all the way around you, up front, your nose, your tail, down the front, down the back. Cameras, cameras, cameras everywhere. Really like the camera system in this. If you want to turn the screen on or off, there is a button right there. So if you hop in the vehicle and want to turn the headlights on or off without turning the vehicle on or off, just hit the physical button right there to turn the screen on or off. You can see down here we do have dual zone climate control. We have ventilated seats. Like I mentioned earlier, heated and ventilated seats. I like it. It all works very nicely. These have come on every time that I've gotten in the vehicle without me having to push the button, which I really like. I believe it's tied to this auto setting right here. But I really do like these rubberized toggle switches here. It's a nice touch. They are all toggle switches, but not all of them go up and down. Just these two right here for the volume, or the temperature. There we go. That's the word I want. Very low mounted HVAC vents, but they are doing a great job of cooling me off. It says 91, but hey Siri, what's the humidity outside? Hey Siri, what's the humidity? It could be worse, but it is getting warm outside. I did talk about earlier driver-selectable all-wheel drive. Here is your button right here to turn on that all-wheel drive. We get a little indication right there. Your start-stop defeat of the engine, start-stop in traffic, and then we have various different drive modes that we can pan through over here. Very interesting. The button's all the way to my left and the screen is over here on my right, but you can see just all the different drive modes we can go through here. Unfortunately, I can't test them all out because this is just a short drive, thanks to my friends at Hall Buick GMC. I don't have to look at this screen, but I can because I do get a very nice, very well placed head-up display up here. This is my eyeline right here, and you can see just how high up that head-up display is. I really like the placement of it. It is more in my natural eyeline than most. All the way around, very nice interior in here. I like how you can lock this into place so it stays open, and then you can get into it. It is very nice, very deep. We do have this, but you can still get around it, I guess, if you have to. And then a nice padded armrest here. We get a lot of storage in here. You saw it is damped but not lined with felt, so if you put something hard in here, it might rattle. No storage shelf like on the Grand Highlander, but we do get storage in the doors. Storage, I guess I can show you right here, in the door handles. And yes, very nice storage. Come to me, I've got plenty of headroom at 5'10". We're gonna go ahead and open the panoramic sunshade up above me. Lots of light from this massive panoramic roof. Though I will say the sunshade is a little on the slow side. I had a 2014 Jeep Cherokee. I think it went faster than this. I mean, it's still going, but you can see when it finally does open, you get lots of light. But I already did mention just how warm it is outside and the fact that it's getting warmer. So I want to close that. And then we can get into the back and talk about the back two rows in this, which I think adults might want to experience all 3 rows if they purchase this for themselves. You can see we have captain's chairs here in the 2nd row, still same mixed use material here. They are sliding, they are reclining. We don't have any built-in sunshades here on our AT4 trim, but we still get the same mixed use materials on the doors. And you can see just how wide open they do open. That is a massive opening for getting a car seat in, which speaking of car seats, you can get in very easily. I'm gonna go ahead and show you. These are car seat friendly for getting into the 3rd row as well. So a car seat could be left in place and you can still access the 3rd row without a lot of fanfare. So I like that a lot. And they are manually sliding. I'm gonna go ahead and get in behind myself at 5'10". My goodness, look at all the room. We do have a nice handle here, though I didn't need it. Tons of room, like the storage in the door right here. Love the air vents in the ceiling. That is a very nice touch because it is a tri-zone climate control. So I like that a lot. We do have some power down here as well. So just all around very nice features for the 2nd row. We've got some map pockets down there and some cup holders on the back of the center console. So 2nd row passengers are treated very nicely. I've still got plenty of headroom. And even if I did not want to fold those seats forward, there's still a very nice pass through to get into that 3rd row if somebody had to in a pinch without moving the seats. But we're going to go ahead and move said seats, and you can see again with that wide opening door just how wide opening the rear access is to get back here into the 3rd row. Now this is a little more cramped than Grand Highlander. If you're going to be spending a lot of time in the 3rd row, maybe do some extensive research for your specific passengers on the 3rd row, but there is still plenty of room back here. My knees are not up under my chin like some vehicles in the segment. And I really like how I have air vents blasting me right in the face back here. So still get good air vents back here in the back. I'm actually gonna move back behind this seat right here. And you can see I've still got plenty of room. There's plenty of room for my feet down there. So all around, nice room in all 3 rows of this. Even if the 3rd row is just a smidge smaller than the Grand Highlander, really comes down to your use case scenario, which one is better for you. Okay, so it's bigger, got a more powerful engine, more room inside than the model it replaces, but how does it drive? Well, in my very short time with it, I'm actually quite pleased. The visibility out of it is very good. The windows are nice and big. This doesn't suffer from Chevy Camaro syndrome where you've got those little slit windows. Like I can actually see out of this, can even see out the back window, even though I don't have a rear view camera mirror, which I do believe you can get on the Denali trim. Really like the digital screen here. I've got a little bit of a hood to help shade it so I can have a clear view of it. I like the tablet display, though I don't know that it's my favorite. That's something I would have to spend more time with. But overall, everything is about where I would expect it to be. I did mention, it's kind of weird, your drive mode button's over here, and what drive mode you're in is displayed over here. So there's some quirks, there's some oddities, but oh my goodness, I can tell you these ventilated seats do an amazing job. The powertrain for driving around town does an amazing job. I've not felt the transmission shift, not once, but I know that it has. And then the ride, it's smooth, it's comfortable. I can see how many buyers will cross shop this against something like the Grand Highlander, like, okay, we'll go off-road, the Nissan Pathfinder Rock Creek, and even the General Motors triplets of this. We can talk about the Chevy Traverse C71 and a few other big 3-row vehicles. I can see how this would make for very good competition against those vehicles. Here, setting off, I'm not going to rag this because this is a dealer car. It hasn't been broken in. It literally just showed up. So there hasn't been much done to it. Not many miles put on it at all. So I'm not going to drive it crazy. We'll reserve that for the first one I get for a full week review. But I can say this is a perfectly fun vehicle for driving around town. It would do great on child pickup duty. It would do great on grocery runs. It would do great on road trips. This is a very comfortable vehicle all the way around, and I cannot tell you how pleased I am with these ventilated seats. It's now 93 degrees and climbing out here in the first week of summer, and I'm very appreciative of that. The AC is doing a great job too. So back to my original question, would I buy this over a Toyota Grand Highlander? Possibly. I am a General Motors fanboy. I will not deny that. I have owned exclusively General Motors vehicles myself, and this is the best of everything that they've learned over the years. We've got a strong turbocharged engine with decent fuel economy. We've got the rugged look that everybody is looking for on the outside, and a decent price tag to match it all. So me personally, I'd say this is a strong contender in the big 3-row class, because we really don't need that 3rd row. That is about it from my short time here with this 2024 GMC Acadia AT4. And again, if you want to see more from us, hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified every time a new video drops from us. Find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, I am going to take this back to my friends at Hall Buick GMC here in Tyler, Texas. Again, if you want to make this one yours, absolutely hit them up. Tell them Corey from GT Garage Talk sent you. But until next time, gearheads, bye. 9 miles on this one. Am I going to put the 10th mile on it? I do not know. We shall see.